Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radha Nata Radha, Radha Nata Radhe. Jaya Radha, Radha Nata Radha, Radha Nata Radhe. Jaya Gauranithai, Jaya Gauranithai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Deity ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari.
Thank you so much. That was really nice.
Thank you, Shoguru.
We got so many. Hare Krishna. So many nice kirtan singers. It's amazing. I was afraid because we were going to position the kirtan party on that side because we're afraid you'd roll down the hill into the ditch there. I would if I was trying to sit there. But anyway, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Oh, and yes, our MC. Okay, no, I didn't know you were here until just a couple of seconds ago.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the program Sunday. We missed it because last week, Maharaj, you were not around. Apparently, I know you had a breathtaking experience, from what I understand.
You could say a breathless experience.
Jai Maharaj. But we are so glad that you are well. We had some kirtan in your honor last week, Sunday.
Oh, that's what helped. Yeah.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj Ki. So thank you, Maharaj, for keeping and maintaining your wonderful health. We need you for a lot more, Maharaj, and we want to get your darshan, especially the devotees from across the world as well. I think we are very fortunate. I think we don't realize how fortunate we are to actually have Maharaj's personal darshan, face-to-face experience of, there's many devotees across the world, Maharaj's disciples, cannot see Maharaj in person, and they can only see it through Facebook and Facebook Live. So I think it's important that we don't, as devotees, don't understand how important this is to actually get this, and how fortunate we are actually to get the darshan of Maharaj. So please, we encourage you to try and come and attend as many programs as you can at ISKCON Sandton or at ISKCON Madran or wherever Maharaj has programs, because this opportunity is very, very rare, and I think we should grab the opportunity as much as we can when it comes to these programs. Maharaj, I have lots of announcements I'll let everyone know about later on, but for now I think devotees have come to hear you and not me, Maharaj, so I'll take the back seat, and we enjoyed the wonderful Leela that you've been sharing at Madran earlier on, building up into Kartik month. So we'd like to hear a little bit more of that today. I'm sure you will be sharing. So looking forward to that, and as we build into the wonderful Kartik programs that we have here at ISKCON Sandton. Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Gaur Premanande.
Sadhu Sangha, this is Sadhu Sangha Prabhu, by the way, if you don't know. He's our top MC. He's great. Really, it's a fact. Well, thank you for the warm welcome. Sorry I couldn't make it last week. Sure. Anyway, yeah, life in this world sometimes gets difficult. So let us begin, devotees and friends. Are you okay there? You're not going to roll back. We don't want to lose you. Okay, relax. Yes, well, as Sadhu Sangha Prabhu sort of inferred, I guess, we're having special programs building up to Wednesday, this coming Wednesday in a few days, which is the first day of the lunar month, because our calendar, at least in terms of different functions and ceremonies and celebrations, we follow the lunar calendar. It is more precise. Yeah. And if you know how to, if you get used to seeing the moon, going up and down as it does, then you can just look at the moon and you'll know what day it is. By the solar calendar, there's no chance of doing that. Maybe you'll understand you're in summer or winter, but not the actual day. Anyway, so on Wednesday is the first day of the lunar month of Kartik, or it's also called the month of Damodar. And in that month, it's a very special month in that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, it's sort of like, it's his month. I mean, everything's his, but he gives special attention to this month. And he gives special mercy to those who try to serve him during this coming month. And so we're just giving you a little advance notice so you can gear yourselves up a bit and make the most of it. So it's the month in which, well, there's a number of important pastimes that took place. There's the Govardhan Leela, which the anniversary of which will be on the 5th of November. And of course, there's Prabhupada's disappearance day. I think it's the 8th. So they're important days, but the underlying theme for the whole month is the pastime of Lord Krishna as Damodar, which means Lord Krishna in his pastime in which he was tied by his mother to a wooden grinding mortar to discipline him and correct him and make him understand that he had to mend his ways in certain important respects. Yeah, so the whole month is dedicated to this pastime, which is really quite something. I just mentioned the Govardhan Leela. I'm sure many of you, maybe all of you, are quite familiar with that. It's a very famous pastime of Lord Krishna lifting Govardhan Hill and holding it for a week on the little finger of his left hand. A hill, a real hill, it's about 23 kilometers around. So we celebrate that. That's one of our favorite festivals. It's just fantastic. And we're going to be having it here, right where you're sitting on, I think it's on the 5th, right? On the Friday. But that's just for the one day, more or less, or one or two. I think on the Saturday we'll celebrate at our Midrand temple. But this Damodar pastime, this pastime of Krishna being disciplined by his mother, Yasoda, by being tied up, this we are celebrating for the whole month. It's amazing. It really gives at least an indication that it's really an important pastime, and there's really a lot we can learn from it. There's really a lot of extremely essential things that we can learn from that pastime. And therefore it's celebrated in this very special way every day for a month. Yes. So it begins on Wednesday, as I said, and one of the important aspects of it is that, like I mentioned, it's Krishna's month, it's special for Krishna, and particularly in the sense that during this month, particularly if we make some extra efforts to do some Krishna conscious activities, could be chanting, could be studying some of the literatures or doing some particular service. If if there's some service you're into. So the thing is that Lord Krishna during this month, he gives more mercy than usual. He always gives so much mercy, it's amazing. It's inconceivable actually. But during this month he gives more. And therefore there's a tradition, just a practice in our line going back, way back for thousands of years, that during this month the devotees try to do more service to Krishna, more and better. More and more better. How's that? Anyway, yeah, more and better. And most better. And even mostest better. Just really try and get into it and really give heart and soul to the Lord. Yeah. Which we should try and do anyway. And so many devotees definitely do anyway, but to make even some more special effort is really, it's really worthwhile, it's really good for you, for us. Because Krishna doesn't really need our service. We cook for Krishna. We cook for Krishna, and some food, prasadam, has been cooked already for you all to take when we finish the program in an hour and a half, whatever. And so some devotees made a real effort to cook it, and I'm sure it'll be very nice. And it was offered to Krishna. But Krishna is being the same one Krishna is being offered so much food in so many of our temples, and not just our temples, but in so many devotees' homes. They're cooking and, fantastic amounts when you consider it's for one person particularly. Just most totally astonishing amounts. Yeah, so Krishna does not need our food offering. If we are cooking let's just say, some rice and some cauliflower, you don't need to worry that if you don't do it, that Krishna's going to go hungry. And he'll, become a little irritable with you. It doesn't really work like that, because Krishna's getting so much food. It's inconceivable. It's literally inconceivable. So, but we need to be able to make an offering to Krishna. We need that opportunity to render service for our benefit, not for his. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so what we're doing, we started yesterday and we continued this morning. We were in our Midran temple earlier today. We started telling the story. It's a bit of a long story, and it's the sort of thing one can go into detail. There's all sorts of different nuances and different subtleties and special and very personal considerations in this pastime, and we can learn a lot from that, because there's a tendency for ourselves, even as practitioners, to think that Krishna consciousness is a process. And even for that matter, we use the term, let's be honest, and even Srila Prabhupada would sometimes use the term. But one devotee expressed it very nicely when he said that he raised, like rhetorically, a question, the question, what is Krishna consciousness? And he answered it himself. And he said, Krishna consciousness means developing a personal relationship, the development of a personal relationship with Krishna disguised as a process. Disguised. It looks like a process, and like I said, we use the term, and Prabhupada himself used the term sometimes, process. But actually what it is, it's the development of a personal relationship. And we all know, we all have personal relationships, and I'm sure we all have some deep personal relationships which are really meaningful, and just our hearts are deeply invested in them. And I'm sure, I don't doubt, don't mind me saying this, that through some foolishness of our own, I don't doubt that every one of us here has messed up a relationship in the past. And I would think not just one. Yeah, so relationships, these are very sensitive things. They're really sensitive things. And, you know, when I was a child or a teenager, maybe a teenager, there was a movie I saw before I knew of the existence of Krishna consciousness. It was called Love Story. I don't know if any of you heard of that. It was like a bit of a classic about two people who are in love, but then one of them got a terminal illness. and in that, at one point in that movie, one of them said to the other, love means never having to say you're sorry. You know, I mean, if you blow it, in other words. But then I read recently, like a couple of years ago, it really struck me, an article which was referring specifically to that. And the writer said that really you could say love means feeling that you have to say you're sorry. Otherwise, if it's just like, you know, I can do anything and upset you in this way or that, and I don't have to acknowledge it, that's impersonal. So, Krishna consciousness is not just very personal, it's fully personal. There's nothing really impersonal or, you know, like process-like in it. Nothing mechanical. It's all interaction. It's all different types and forms of interaction with Krishna and with others who are involved in Krishna consciousness. And it's really wonderful. But because we are sometimes prone to be insensitive or, you know, just make mistakes in our relationships, we have to learn. We have to learn how to relate with Krishna and how to develop our relationship with Krishna. And if we do that nicely, then, it's just amazing. It's just the most, literally the most amazing and wonderful thing. And actually, that's why we're very fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, because he was just the expert in Krishna consciousness, just in another dimension altogether in terms of knowing how to relate with Krishna and interact with Krishna, and then to teach us, to teach people how to do that. Yeah, otherwise, we are prone to have two left feet when it comes to relationships. Yeah, sometimes we say, well, I'm from New Zealand originally, at least in this lifetime, where they're really into raising animals. And I remember when I was young, there was an outbreak of a very serious disease for animals called foot and mouth. You might have heard, I would assume it's been here too. So one devotee adopted the term for devotees who struggle to develop and maintain and not mess up relationships, due to saying the wrong things or not saying the right things, all that. One devotee said, yes, I am prone to foot-in-mouth disease. So we have to learn that's why the term process can be used, because there's a lot to learn and you've got to apply yourself. But actually what we're doing is developing a relationship. It's exactly what we're doing. It is simply, that's what we're doing. And in this pastime, the relationship between Lord Krishna and his mother Yasoda, and how things go back and forth between them, and how the whole pastime develops in terms of their interactions, it's really deep, it's really beautiful. And if we follow it carefully and really try to imbibe it and take it into our hearts, it'll help us. It'll greatly help us in our trying to develop our relationship with Krishna. So, devotees, I am going to continue the story. I'm going to continue the story. I'll just recap very slightly that Mother Yasoda, Krishna's mother. Of course, Krishna is God. He doesn't have a mother, doesn't have a father. He is both the father and he is the mother of all living entities. He is a super being. He is the supreme being. Yeah. So he's not like us. We all have parents, and I know some of you are parents also. Yeah. But when a devotee feels affection for Krishna in a certain mood, then Krishna accepts that and relates with that devotee in terms of the feelings of the devotee. So Mother Yasoda, she is a devotee who has a parental, a motherly type of attraction and affection for Krishna. And Krishna does not say to her that, listen, I'm God, all right. And don't you start thinking you're my mother. What do you mean you're my mother? It's crazy, which is true. It's crazy. But Krishna accepts it, and he relates as her son. And you must know, when God is your son, he's literally the most incredible son, the best. better than the best, the bestest, the most bestest. So, Prabhupada said, and Prabhupada said many things about this, but one thing he said was that normal, like regular children as we've all been, and maybe, anyway, regular children as we've all been. Sometimes we're good, and sometimes we're not so good, isn't it? Did you ever do some naughty, Sri Kalindi? Never? Sometimes, little bit. Yeah. And therefore, parenthood, if you haven't been one yet, you can ask some of the devotees who are or have been. Sure, it's a real yajna. It's not a small thing at all. Wow. Yeah. But Prabhupada said about Krishna that when Krishna was good, he was good. And Prabhupada said, and when Krishna was bad, he was good. Yeah. And this particular pastime, Damodara-lila, sort of the root of it all, the basis of it all, is Krishna's proclivity or his habit of stealing butter. Stealing butter. That's naughty. That is just really naughty. So Krishna would steal the butter, and he's famous for that. In fact, he has a name, Makhan Chor. Makhan meaning butter and Chor meaning thief. Just for that. So let me just explain, though, what it means, Krishna stealing butter. It doesn't, he would steal it and eat it, by the way. He didn't steal it and sell it or do something like that. Steal it and throw away. You know, like sometimes the EU or the Americans, they've got so much dairy products, they just dump it in the ocean. Madness, to put it mildly. So Krishna stole it and ate it, kilos of it. Did you ever try eating a ½ kilo of butter? Just like that. Just chomp, go for it. Generally people don't. I used to know one devotee in England who used to eat a quarter kilo, every day, straight. Just no kidding. But he's the only one I have known. Otherwise, you put it on some bread or use it in some cooking process, but that's the place of butter generally. But Krishna eats it. And he steals it and eats it. But the thing is, and this is the crucial thing, is that it's not exactly that Krishna just likes eating butter. We all have our favorite prasadam, don't we? Don't we? We do. What's your favorite, Sri Kalindi? Butter paneer. Right, you told me. So, it's not just that Krishna likes the taste of butter, but the thing is that the butter, of course, it comes from the cows. The milk comes from the cows, and then it's transformed. But the cows in Krishna Leela, the cows love Krishna. The cows are people. They're not just dumb animals, some just stupid creature. They can't do anything with their lives except eat grass. The cows and not just the cows, but the trees, the flowers. In Krishna's pastimes, they're all people, and they can all speak. Yeah. Like Hanuman, the famous monkey in the pastimes of Lord Ram, he can speak, and he does speak, and he speaks in Sanskrit. And, I think there's nobody here who can speak in Sanskrit. I know a little, but I can't speak Sanskrit just like that. But Hanuman speaks Sanskrit. That's his normal, how he expresses himself. So he's not just some silly monkey. Yeah. These are transcendental personalities. So the cows are always thinking, we want Krishna to get our milk. Then they're milked by the ladies. And the ladies, when they're milking the cows by hand, not by machines, sort of dragging milk out of the cow until blood starts coming. But the ladies, as they're milking the cows, they are thinking, we want Krishna to have this milk and the different things which are made from the milk. They're thinking like that. And of all the things they make with milk, from milk, butter is the most, not exactly difficult, but physically taxing. If you've ever made butter by hand, it's hard work, physically. Make yogurt, it's not taxing, it's easy. And make milk sweets, that's a bit demanding, but it's not demanding like making butter. So the ladies are making all these different things from milk. And as they're doing that, they're thinking, we want Krishna to have this, and their love is going into it. Yeah, because when someone prepares, particularly when they cook or, go through like a process for making some foodstuff, part of them goes into it. Yeah. So their love goes into all the different things. And because making butter requires that special effort, more of their love goes into the butter as they're making it than with the other things. This is why, incidentally, we don't recommend that you eat food which has been particularly cooked by non-devotees, because part of them has gone into it. And usually, with all due respect, they're not such fine, pure personalities. Yeah. So generally, we really recommend to only take food which has been prepared by devotees. I mean, ideally, the vegetables should be grown by devotees, ideally, then harvested by devotees, and then prepared, and then offered. That's ideal. But, generally people have to buy things. And Prabhupada made the point that when you buy something, the karma involved in its production is offset by your paying the price. Anyway, that's by the way. So the thing is, all those dairy products, and particularly the butter, has the love of the cows and then the ladies, just saturated with that love. And Krishna is a connoisseur of love. He's just such a super connoisseur of love. And he doesn't care if something is expertly prepared or not. If there's love there, then he relishes it. So Krishna, the ladies want Krishna to get the butter particularly. Krishna particularly wants to get the butter. But there is a problem in that those families, their livelihoods are coming from trading their dairy products. And if the ladies just give the butter away to Krishna as they would love to do, it will seriously impact on their family's financial situation, and it would be a problem within the family. So therefore the ladies would not give it away because they were afraid their husbands would be angry and it would just be a challenge in the family. But they still wanted Krishna to get it, and Krishna really wanted to get it. So he stole it. And in this way, the ladies didn't get into trouble. Krishna got into trouble. But he managed to get their love. But of course, on a certain level, Krishna stealing butter is not good, just on a normal type of level. So Mother Yasoda, she was very concerned that Krishna is developing, he's already developed the stealing habit, and it's not good. So she wanted to correct him. So what she did in this case, she tied him up to correct him, because she was afraid that Krishna, now he's stealing butter. In the future, he may steal motor cars or what? Ox carts. Buffalo. He may hijack buffalo carts, and he'll get a bad name. He may get arrested and locked up. And the people will think, what sort of useless mother did this fellow have? Couldn't bring him up properly, like a proper human being. And she was afraid. Makan is the word in Sanskrit, actually, in North Indian languages, for butter. She was afraid that Krishna, as he grew up, would become the head of the Makan mafia. And it would really be a problem. So she felt she really wanted to train him. Yeah. But train him does not mean hit him, to use violence, but somehow to imprint on his mind the message that I really must not steal. It's not good for me if I steal. Therefore, I must stop it. And her way of doing that was to tie him up. So in the pastime, Mother Yasoda, she's so concerned about Krishna's stealing habit. Well, let me tell you just one other little story, just a bit of a diversion, but it's nice. It's from Brahmavaivarta Purana, that Krishna, he was going out stealing butter on a daily basis, and everyone was very happy, actually. But on the surface, they acted like they were not happy. So there was one lady, Krishna would go to a house every day and steal some butter. And this one lady, just on that, kind of superficial level within the pastime, she was unhappy. And she was thinking, I'm going to catch this boy. And when I catch him, I'm going to take him back to his mother. And I'm going to make sure that she gives him the sauce, as we say, the hot chili sauce. She really gets on his case in front of me. Otherwise, I won't go away. So she hid, and Krishna came to steal butter, and she grabbed Krishna. And Krishna, moaned and complained and asked her, please, I won't do it again. And the lady said, I'm going to take you to your mother, and I'm going to watch her, make sure she deals with you. So she took Krishna by the hand and walked towards Mother Yasoda's house, kind of dragging Krishna behind her. Little did she know, but on the way, Krishna transformed himself into the same form as her son. But she didn't notice, because she's dragging him behind. And she's got this whole thing in her mind, we are going there. So they arrived at Mother Yasoda's house, and Krishna's still kind of behind her, and she still hasn't noticed. She knocked on the door. Mother Yasoda came to the door, and the lady said, listen, see, I got him. I caught him stealing again. And now I want to see you chastise him and sort him out. And Mother Yasoda's looking and seeing it's the lady and her son. And Mother Yasoda saying, what's going on here? And Mother Yasoda said, I think there's some mistake here. Just have a look. And the lady looked and saw it was her own son. And she couldn't believe it. And she was extremely embarrassed. But anyway, Mother Yasoda said, just go home and cool off for a while, and you'll be okay. So she went back, or she's on the way back now, holding her son, who's actually Krishna, in the hand. Krishna pulled on her hand. She turned around and she saw, it's Krishna. And, oh no, what's going on? And Krishna said, listen, you don't do this again, okay? Don't you do this again. You do this again, I will turn myself into your husband. And then you'll really make a fool of yourself. So that's in Brahma-vaivarta Purana. It's one of the Vedic scriptures. So there's Mother Yasoda, and she's very concerned. So in order to, she thinks, deal with the problem, she selected 7 or 8 of the best cows in Nanda Maharaja's herd, her husband's herd. So good. The Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that from among the countless cows, she selected 7 or 8. He says, rare as a horse with 1 black ear. You know about horses with black ears? No, you don't, do you? Neither do I, actually. But this is a Vedic idea. Yeah. As rare as a horse with 1 black ear. It's just like in the Bhagavatam, it describes the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. As a child, they were so amazing just so beautiful and so amazing. Bhagavatam says, just like the pastimes of a baby elephant. You know about the pastimes of baby elephants? I don't think so. Neither do I really, but just a little. Means they're real characters. They're just really funny little characters. So she's selected the best cows. And then she personally went around the whole area, and by hand cut the best grass, just rich green grass, and came back and personally fed it to those best cows, and then personally milked those best cows, and personally turned the milk into yogurt, and then personally churned the yogurt into butter, and came out with some number of kilos of butter every day, and then just went over to Krishna and said to Krishna, here, listen, take this, bang, and just eat it. Like, I don't know how many kilos, it's probably like 30 or 40 or 50 kilos. Just go for it, Krishna. And went off to do some household chores and came back in 5 minutes to see how Krishna's doing with the 50 kilos of butter. But Krishna had gone. He was next door stealing their butter because he wants to taste the love of all those devotees. But she didn't see it like that. She just saw it that he's making a big nuisance of himself, and I've got to correct him. So, yes, the verse says, driven by a stubbornness arising from parental love. Yeah. She concluded, no one else can do these things properly. Only I can. I have to do it. Yes, so the description in the Bhagavatam is that she is, as this pastime begins, she is churning some yogurt into butter, which I just said, it's a big job. I've done, just one time I did it, and I can report back to you. If you want to get fit, your chest, your shoulders, and your, like that, churn yogurt into butter, and you'll really become pretty tough. Let me read this verse. It's from the Bhagavatam, 9th chapter of the 10th canto. It's just really beautiful. Dressed in a saffron yellow sari, with a belt tied about her full hips, Mother Yasoda pulled on the churning rope, laboring considerably, her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating, and her whole body shaking. Because of her intense love for her child, her breasts were wet with milk. Her face, with its very beautiful eyebrows, was wet with perspiration, because it's hard work. Wet with perspiration, and malati flowers were falling from her hair. Malati is a form of jasmine. We have some here, I think it's over there. And then Srila Prabhupada gives a really amazing purport here. Just listen to this, to that verse. Anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yasoda. It is not that one should desire to become like Yasoda, for this is my avad, or to become Yasoda specifically. Either in parental affection or conjugal love, friendship or servitorship, in any way, we must follow in the footsteps of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, not try to become like them. Therefore, this description is provided here. Advanced devotees must cherish this description, always thinking of Mother Yasoda's features, how she was dressed, how she was working and perspiring, how beautifully the flowers were arranged in her hair, and so on. One should take advantage of the full description provided here by thinking of Mother Yasoda in maternal affection for Krishna. Now, this is very high-level Krishna consciousness, actually. We all have an eternal relationship with Krishna, either in a neutral type of mood or in a mood of servitorship, or in a mood of friendship, or in a mood of parenthood, or in a conjugal mood. Every one of us, every living entity within themselves is already existing an eternal relationship with Krishna. It does not have to be acquired from an external source. It's already there. It just needs to be uncovered. That's all. So here, Prabhupada's applying this for devotees who may have a parental or particularly motherly type of relationship eternally with Krishna. This is high level. It means our eternal relationship. And, to be quite frank, we're not really on that level. We're on the level of getting out of Maya. That's the level we're on. And I can report to you, it takes a while. And there are challenges en route. But it can be done, and it must be done. It has to be done, because we don't want to have to take birth again in this world and go through it all again, all the stuff we've been through. So, but for those who may be advanced, as Prabhupada says, advanced devotees must cherish this description, thinking of how Mother Yasoda looks and what she's doing and what her attitudes are and all these, the intricacies of her at this particular point in time. And at least we can try to appreciate. We're not really into copying, but we should try to appreciate advanced devotees. And through appreciation, we'll be able to learn how to follow in their footsteps in appropriate ways. So now Krishna had been sleeping. A person might ask, God sleeping? What are you talking about? Sleeping? He doesn't get tired like us. And, every 24 hours we have to just sleep for several hours, whatever it is. He's God. But in the pastimes, in so many ways, Krishna conducts himself as if he's an ordinary little child. And therefore Mother Yasoda, she thinks, he is my child. And when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, then all the Brijbasis were left in Vrindavan in separation from Krishna. And then Uddhava came with the messages from Krishna for the Brijbasis, the devotees of Vrindavan. And Uddhava, among others, he met with Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda. And in order to try to sort of pacify them and appease them and placate them and just get them to relax and stop stressing so much that Krishna's gone, Uddhava, well, in fact, Krishna had given Uddhava messages for them, in which Krishna described himself as the super soul. And the super soul's in every atom. What to speak of everyone's heart, he's in every atom. And so it's like physically impossible to be separated from Krishna. You just can't be. But in that way, as the super soul, which is really different from having a personal, loving relationship with Krishna. So Uddhava was explaining like this to Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda, listen, don't stress so much, it's okay. Krishna's still with you. Yeah, it's all right. Nothing to worry about. He's there. Lord Krishna is everywhere. He's the Supreme Lord. He's the greatest. He's everywhere. He's with you. He's with you right now. And after he finished his little presentation, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda said, well, we offer our obeisances to your Lord Krishna. Your Lord Krishna. You see him like that. For us, he's not like that. He's our son. Yeah. So like this, Mother Yasoda is churning the yogurt into butter. And really, it's an endeavor. She's a middle-aged woman. Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda, they had no children until they were in their 40s. And when Krishna appeared as their son, or apparently as their son, they were already 40-something, So she's a middle-aged woman. Being in your 40s means you're well into middle age. So it was a struggle for her. And she's a somewhat heavily built, motherly woman. And then, so Krishna's taking rest, Krishna's sleeping. Then, as Jiva Goswami says, the ocean of beauty, that's Krishna, the ocean of beauty woke up and immediately began crying. Getting up, he went to his mother, and he appeared to his mother and others as follows. This is what he looked like. Breathing heavily, rubbing his limbs, rubbing his eyes, he cried, "Mother, mother!" Hearing the sound of churning, he walked, stumbling, to his mother. So then Krishna wanted to be breastfed. He caught hold of the churning rod to stop Mother Yasoda from churning, and indicated that he wanted to be breastfed. And let me conclude for today by just reading this. This is also from Jiva Goswami. That when Krishna did that, he stopped her by holding the churning rod and then grabbed her and indicated or told her that He wants to be breastfed. So seeing Krishna like that, Jiva Goswami says, the milk flowed from Yasoda like glistening monsoon rains. Krishna was like an eager chatak bird drinking those showers. And Mother Yasoda began to breastfeed him, but when he had had only half of what he wanted, devotees, the milk, a pot of milk on the stove, started boiling over, and Mother Yasoda dropped Krishna, put Krishna down quickly, and ran to save the butter, the milk. And of course, Krishna, from being breastfed, which they say is the most secure position for a child, suddenly Krishna finds himself on the floor, looking up at the sky. He's been abandoned. And what happened next? Well, it wasn't good. Well, you want to know what happened next? Tune in on Wednesday and find out what happened next. 'Cause, wow, it all happens. It's really spectacular. Hare Krishna. We're having a program on Sunday night, am I right? I heard. Yeah. Huh? On Wednesday. So next program's Wednesday night. Right. So we will continue on Wednesday. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Kartik Vrata ki, Shishi Yasoda Damodara ki, Go Premanande.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful class. Devotees, we haven't sent out a clipboard with questions, so if you have a question, and we have quite a small crowd, so you're welcome to just raise your hand and stand up and ask a question. If you have any question on your mind, Maharaj will be more than happy to help us unpack the question. So, Maharaj, I had a question maybe.
Okay.
Maharaj, my question was, how can a devotee grow or increase their enthusiasm or service attitude as we build into Kartik? So, what can a devotee do to increase their enthusiasm and service attitude?
Yeah. Well, there's a number of things, but one really good thing is to associate with other devotees who already have that. Because you will become like who you associate with. You can't stop yourself becoming like those who, particularly those whose association you accept. Because you can give association by sort of leading the relationship, or you can accept association by accepting the leadership and listening to the person you're relating with. So that's a pretty good way to start. Identify someone or ones who really have a lot of enthusiasm. And there's quite a few of them around. Even sitting here, I'm looking out, and there's a number of really good devotees here. You're a good devotee, actually. Really. So that's one good thing. That's kind of a simple thing in a sense. If we accept the association and we listen to and we try and appreciate the example of and apply that, more advanced and more enthusiastic devotees, it will rub off on us. Yeah. You know, just even in material life, there's a saying, something like, if you associate with thieves, you become a thief. Basically, you become like whoever you accept the association of. But then, you know, you can try to chant better, not just sit down and sort of mumble away for a while every day, chanting your rounds or something, but really, really try and go into it. Accept the mantra as being Krishna or Radha and Krishna, and really try and hear it and allow Radha and Krishna to enter your heart. Study Prabhupada's books. You know, Prabhupada is so incredibly enthusiastic. Particularly if you listen to Prabhupada's lectures from 1966 in New York, you can just feel the enthusiasm of Prabhupada. He's so enthusiastic that his voice breaks, you know, something like that. Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing. So yeah, if we associate with Prabhupada, boy, I tell you what, you'll become unstoppably enthusiastic, maybe uncontrollably too. You may frighten yourself. Those are some thoughts. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, we have one more question.
Oh.
From Sri Kalindi.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Haribol.
My question is, so why is Kartik a month when it's just one pastime? Because other occasions it's just one day, but why is Kartik that long?
Well, the thing is, the pastime is so important that there's this whole tradition for generations and hundreds of years that during this month, every single day, the devotees do the special worship of Yasoda and Damodara. Yeah, the pastime is so important for us. We can learn so much. If we really sort of imbibe it, it'll change our lives. It'll change what we are permanently. Yeah, so, and that's, you know, Krishna, it's part of Krishna's strategy. Krishna is a great strategist. And, you know, he doesn't just do things just, you know, why not? Just because. He's a strategist. He really thinks creatively and constructively how to do things. And one of his main things, at least in terms of how he acts within this world, one of his main things, if not main, is to try to help us. And Krishna knows that really understanding and appreciating this pastime will help us. It'll help us so much. Yeah. So it's like that. I thought you were going to ask, why is Kartik so special? I mean, you sort of did, but you didn't. But I was going to say, if you were going to ask that, I was going to say, because. Because Krishna said so. And because there's one, today is Dwadasi. Yesterday was Ekadasi, today is Dwadasi. There's a rule given by Sanatan Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas. We cannot pick tulsi leaves on Dwadasi. And one devotee asked Prabhupada, why? Why is it that Sanatan Goswami says we cannot pick tulsi leaves on Dwadasi? And Srila Prabhupada's answer was, because Sanatana Goswami said so. Yeah. It's like the answer to some questions is simply Hare Krishna. That's all. Okay.
Thank you, Guru.
And now, yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So my question was, I was in one of the purports, Prabhupada was saying that, where is it? Like a devotee in his liberated state, he renders service to the Lord in transcendental love, and thus enjoys a life full of freedom, even sometimes on an equal level with the Lord, or sometimes more than the Lord.
Right.
So I wanted to know what Prabhupada meant by more freedom than the Lord.
More freedom than the Lord. Yeah, because if the devotee is serving Krishna, and if the devotee wants to serve Krishna in a particular way, Krishna will not stop the devotee. Krishna will facilitate the devotee. Yeah. And sometimes the devotees think of doing things that Krishna wasn't going to suggest they do. Like Lord Chaitanya is more merciful than Krishna. He's in the mood of a devotee. So the devotees are free to give Krishna consciousness. In this particular example of distributing, they are freer to give Krishna consciousness than Krishna himself feels to be. Yeah. Krishna doesn't feel, you can say, Krishna doesn't feel that he should become a devotee. It's only when Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, which means he's not just Krishna, he's Krishna and Radharani. So by the influence of Radharani, then Krishna feels like just giving Krishna consciousness more than Krishna feels like giving it, by the influence of Radharani. So similarly, devotees, they get all these inspirations, how to serve Krishna in this way and that. And in some cases, Krishna hasn't thought of doing things like that, but he lets them because they're his devotees. And if they want to do that, Krishna says, okay, I'll facilitate you. So it's in that sort of sense. Yeah, it's in that sort of sense that the devotee has, in a sense, a greater type of freedom than Krishna, because Krishna feels that I am God and I have to do things right to set the example. And if I don't, if God starts doing some things he shouldn't, that's a terrible example. So Krishna is always very careful to do things right. But sometimes devotees bend the rules to serve Krishna. I don't know if you're familiar with Brihad Bhagavatamrita, but in it's the first part, the fifth chapter, second part, 5th chapter, Gopakumar goes to Vaikuntha and meets Lord Narayan. And Lord Narayan tells him, I've been watching you for many lifetimes now. And each lifetime I thought, he's going to come back to me this time. But then you didn't. And then the next lifetime I thought, he's going to come back to me this time. But then you didn't. And Lord Narayan says, then I thought, I'm just going to come down and just take you. But then I thought, no, I can't do that because it'll be against the rules of religion. But the devotees do that sometimes. They bend the rules. Sometimes they sort of break the rules to, they overlook considerations of birth and position in society and things like this, which are rules of religion given by the Supreme Lord, like rules of Varnashram. Sometimes devotees just overlook these things. And Krishna allows them, he doesn't stop them, because he allows the devotees to do what they like, to serve him. Does that make sense?
Thanks, Maharaj. Like in Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna says to leave the ignorance, but then in the purport, like Prabhupada says, but then devotees will still, try help ignorant men come to
That's
Krishna.
right, that's right. Yeah, Krishna says, don't disturb the minds of the ignorant, but the devotees do. Yeah, and Krishna lets them, and he doesn't chastise them, but he accepts it, because he gives the devotees the freedom that they want. But if they go, too far, then he intervenes also. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Maharaj. Perfect questions and perfect answers. And that's because you said so, Maharaj. It's what I've learned today. Hari Bol. Are there any more questions? Sure, Maharaj, a few announcements. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much for your time, and it's so great to be back in the garden listening to your wonderful Leelas that you share with us, the Damodara-lila that you've been sharing specifically out here in the garden on an amazing Sunday before we start the next work week again. Devotees, I'd like to also take the time right now to thank you very much for coming for today's program. We really look forward to having you here. Thank you for helping to comply with the COVID protocols that we have in place. You've been doing a great job with that. We'd like to thank the Kirtaniers for the wonderful Kirtan that they have provided to us, as well as the Kirtan they're going to provide once again. Also for the Deco team for putting up this wonderful altar that we have out here. So thank you very much to Anandamrita Mataji and the team. We'd also like to thank Radha Rasa Mataji and Yadvat Prabhu for bringing along their wonderful Nitai Gora Natraj deities. Shri Shri Nitai Gora Natraj Ki
Jai.
So we get the lovely association of these deities as well as their Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki
Jai.
They're wonderful deities as well here. So thank you very much. We'll have Aarti just now. But before we get into Aarti, a few announcements. I think as we get into the month of Kartik, and I'm sure Maharaj is going to mention this in one of his lectures, is that in the month of Kartik, we have this multiplier effect that happens. And basically, the multiplier effect is that when you do good things, when you do spiritual activities, we have a multiplier effect of 1,000, Maharaj?
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe even more, yes, Maharaj. So during this time, the good things that you do has a positive multiplier effect. Things that you don't do correctly also has a negative multiplier effect at the same time. So we want to take this time in the month of Kartik to try and engage more of our activities, our material activities, into spiritual activities, things that are going to help and advance us as well. So with that being said, take advantage of this opportunity and try to engage in more service opportunities. Like Maharaj mentioned, to make more effort towards our spiritual journey. And this can be done in various different forms. What will be happening in ISKCON Sandton is that we'll be having morning programs like we have been doing regularly, which is open to the public, and there's no RSVP that's required. So if you'd like to join for the morning program, before you start your workday, please feel free to come over to ISKCON Sandton. At 7 o'clock, we have the Deity Greetings, followed by Srila Prabhupada's Aarti, which will start at 7:15. And after Srila Prabhupada's Aarti, there will be a class that will be given, a very short class by one of the temple devotees. So please take this opportunity to engage more in your spiritual welfare, especially in the month of Kartik as well. Govinda Charan will be providing us with the first rounds of programs, and then other devotees from the temple will be sharing just very short classes so that we can get to work after that as well. Devotees also, we are looking for devotees that can help and assist with property maintenance. There's a lot of loose ends that we are trying to fix up in the temple at the moment. So if you have the skill set, if you have a toolbox and you know how to use it, if you have professionalism in terms of your expertise, maybe your contractor, etc., please reach out to us. We're looking for devotees that can render their service in this particular way. We have a new property and rental team that is trying to assist with the rentals that we have here at East Sandton. And we are trying to fix up lots of the different properties to make them more fit for purpose, so we can rent them out as well. So if you can assist in these areas, that'll be really great to help with the new team that's coming on board. Share your skills, share your time, and share your expertise. Whichever one you have, please let me know and I can point you into the right direction with the team so that you can assist as well. Even if you would like to assist with the cooking, you can cook and help to assist with the feast. You can cook at Govinda's. You can join us on the Hari Nams on Friday. So wherever you can find the opportunity to engage in devotional service, try to do it, especially in the month of Kartik. There's so much of service opportunities that you can engage with. Just simply ask and I can point you in the right direction for this as well. Devotees, it's not Prashadam time right now, but today's feast has been cooked and sponsored by Seva Priya Mataji and the team. Let's give a big round of applause, a big round of Hare Krishna for him. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the team apparently has cooked a feast for us, which we'll enjoy later on. So those of you who would like, not now, but after the Aarti, Raj, will we be having japa?
Yeah.
So we'll have some japa. Those devotees that like to stay for japa, you're welcome to stay here. It's optional. If you need to leave and you like to leave, you can collect your prasadam on the exit, same way that you've entered through. For those devotees who haven't, would like to stay for japa, you won't lose out on the prasadam. We'll come and hand deliver them to you here in the garden as well. Before we move on, also, if you'd like to sponsor a feast, you're welcome to contact Madhurika Priya. She will tell you more details about some of the boga that's required for the upcoming events that we have in place. If you'd like to sponsor a feast, it costs 1,008 rands to sponsor the entire feast. You could do this individually or team up with another devotee friend that you might have as well. Devotees, in terms of some of the upcoming programs, so we will continue with the weekend programs as we're currently doing right now. But this week, Wednesday, is the first day of Kartik, and we will have a program right here in Maharaj's lawn on Property 3. It will start at 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. So just watch out for the communications that will be coming out. This week, Wednesday, there will be a program here, and Maharaj will continue with the wonderful Leela. If you want to find out what happened when Krishna didn't get the milk, and you want to find out more, stay tuned and register for Wednesday's program. I know I'm going to be here, Maharaj, so I'm going to listen to that part. Please don't start without me. Devotees, we also will have a program on the 5th of November, Friday, which is Govardhan Puja. So we'll have a program right here in the lawn at 6:30 p.m. It will be an evening program. On the 8th of November, which is a Monday, we will have Srila Prabhupada's disappearance program. That wouldn't be here, but it'll be a midday program that will happen on the deck. And I think Maharaj will also be giving a short talk or class at that time. Then on the 11th of November, which is a Thursday, is the Gopastami. We'll have a program once again on the Thursday here at 6:30 p.m. And then on the 19th of November, I know this is a lot for you to remember, but I'll send out communications and let you know. The 19th of November is a Friday. It's Shraddha Punima, so we'll also have a program once again here in the garden, in addition to all the other programs that we'll have on Sunday as well as Saturday Kirtan as well. So devotees, we have a nice lineup in place for Kartik. Get yourself engaged. Get yourself spending more time on devotional activities, more spiritual activities, less. Substitute the material activities for spiritual activities and see how we can do that as well. So thank you, Maharaj, once again for your time. I think the time is the most valuable gift that any individual can give. So thank you, Maharaj, for your time, for making time for us. Devotees, thank you for your time, for coming out here as well. We look forward to seeing you again and again in the course of the month of Kartik. And thank you very much on behalf of ISKCON Sandton. Please continue with your wonderful service and for continuing coming to the program. No, just for the morning. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, devotees. I will now hand you over to the kirtaniers that will start with the kirtan. Maharaj, will you do kirtan? Can we give the kirtaniers?
Whatever.
I'm not sure about your health, Maharaj. If you can sing, that would be great. But
I could try.
His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj ki. Thank you, Maharaj.
If I struggle, I'll hand over to Balaram Prasad Prabhu. Or Yavat. There's Yavat, right. Okay, so let's stand up. Who's going to offer arti? Are you going to offer arti? Is it? Yeah? Okay. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gobhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gobhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gobhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gobhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gonitai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gonitai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharyas Tadasasi Samata's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantaguri Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sigos Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shishi Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamkund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Shishi Gaunitai Ki Shishi Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Gaur Premanande. All glories to their Soma devotees. All glories to their Soma devotees. All glories to their Soma devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All the devotees, ki jai. So yes, okay. Yes, as Sadhusanga Prabhu announced just some minutes ago, the program is basically concluding now. We'll chant japa though for, I would say, plus or minus 45 minutes. For those who would like to, you're more than welcome. I believe prasadam will be brought to you if you stay here to chant. Otherwise, if it's time for you to move on and go home, you can pick your prasadam up on the way out. But one way or the other, we will see you on Wednesday night. Okay. All right, so let us get into our chanting or whatever is appropriate. Six. No. Somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not sure actually.
So should I bring you a milk at 6 or should I bring it earlier?
I think while I'm doing it, maybe, yeah. But you know what I'd like? Is either a chadar or a pullover. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shastri Govardhan. Oh yeah, our japa path is there. Please feel free to go ahead. 108 stepping stones, 1 stone for each mantra. And by the time you've been around, you've finished a whole round.
We can do a session in the temple room.
Okay.
We need maybe 15 minutes to move
I won't. I don't think that's going to work.
If I can stop broadcasting of Japa at 5:45,
Okay.
and we can move all things.
Okay. But you know the address
Not yet.
where the questions are?
Not yet.
I don't either.
They said they sent it to you by email. Ishwari Kripamatri messaged me.
I can ask Ishwari.
Okay.
Yeah, she said it was sent by BCaiS questions at gmail.com.
Right. Okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Brahmanityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasari Govardhan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare 97 Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hey Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram 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 Hari Hari Hey Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Hey Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Rama Rama Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Rama Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari Rama Krishna Hari 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 Krishna. Where do I find this thing?
I sent the email to you from the email BCaiS questions
To my normal.
to your normal. I'm still going to
It's
consider
not
your
there.
normal.
Rama Rama Hari Hari Krishna Krishna. Oh no, here it is.
There's 27 of them. It's on the format. Oh wait.
Rama Rama Hari Hari Krishna Krishna. Rama Rama Hari Hari Krishna Krishna. What? I want the questions, you know. There's no
Let
questions.
me form a picture.
She must send me the questions.
I'll follow you now.
Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Ram Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari
You're
Hari.
supposed to log onto this images and there's a password. Once it's too complicated,
Yeah,
just send it to
send me the questions. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Hari Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Ram Hari Hari Ram. Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Hari Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Hari 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 Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Ram Ram Hari Hari Hari. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram. Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha Shasni Govardhan, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Whose tambourine is that? It is. Okay. No, I thought it was the other devotee, big fellow. What's his name? Oh, okay. Don't know him. Okay. He's South African. Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari, Hari Ram, Ram Hari Hari, Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram. Ram Ram Hari Hari Hari